Hello everyone, I'm Wambagazi Mercy Ngandega. I'm from Mkhele, Xhosa in the Eastern Cape. So on Sunday I made a post about condemning the issue of selling land, village land, communal land, to outsiders, tourists or any black people who are affording elites who want to have holiday homes in the villages, or not even holiday homes, but just wanting to come and live and experience this bliss. So I live in Bulungula, one of the most beautiful spots in the Wild Coast. So what happens is that when people come and visit here, they want to own a piece of it. That's how beautiful it is. Like, it's all along the Wild Coast, actually. It's beautiful. So when people come to our villages, they're like, oh yeah, starting conversations, how can I acquire land here? I've had a lot of inboxes, WhatsApp messages of people asking me, how do you get land where you live? And I'm like, no, you don't get land where I live. We don't sell land. We don't give land. It's illegal to sell communal land or give it to outsiders when we have children growing up who will need space. So it was a very interesting post. A lot of comments from people, some who felt attacked, some who felt deprived. I wasn't attacking anyone and I wasn't depriving anyone of land, but I was just putting out facts and reality. So I just thought I should make this video to just clarify and bring awareness again to the people. So our land belongs to the chiefs, Amakosi. It's communal, it's traditional owned, and so that means nobody is allowed to buy land or to sell land or to buy land. So the people who come and dangle money to the villagers, I've seen it happening in the next villages. I had a hike on last Saturday with friends from Hole in the Wall to Coffee Bay, and all along you see mushrooming of new holiday homes. So how these people acquire land, I'm not talking about cottages. Cottages have been there for like maybe generations, 70 years. That's people who got the land under the government of that time, and it was legal then, and it was in whatever agreement that was there. But yeah, I'm gonna get to that. I'm talking about people who are coming now, buying land from villagers cheaply for nothing, like the article from Mail and Guardian in 2018 about selling land at like 6,000 rand to people. If you're coming here to these villages, you're coming to people who depend on social grants. So if you're going to talk about money, thousands of rands, to them it sounds like a lot of money. And the only asset that they have is their land, it's their ancestral land. So they'll sell it to you, because again, maybe it's short-sightedness. They're not thinking about future. If I'm hungry now, why should I keep land? My children will die with hunger. Then I can get this money. But guess what? The money is gone in like few days because someone spends it and it's gone. And your land is gone. Your children's land is gone. So I'm doing this to kind of address and to emphasize how important it is that we have communities like Bulungula that are not corrupted, by outsiders coming in and doing their thing their way and just polluting the environment. For example, if you go to Coffee Bay, if you go to Hole in the Wall, the sense of safety, you question it, because as soon as you park your car, for example, someone is offering to watch it, and you're like, maybe they're expecting you to pay the money, they're selling something, their children along the coast trying to sell you something. It's not a very nice feeling, it makes you feel uncomfortable. And in Bulungula, you'll park your car. No child is going to show up at you trying to sell you something, asking for money. No. It's the safest place, So these villages that still conserve the culture of independence on outsiders, they're actually great people, because for once you're like, it's so different to be here. It's not like any other coastal village I've ever been to. I feel safe. There's so much culture. There's so much dignity. And for example, here, the people that we have, a white person that we have in the village is David Martin, and they're non-black, I should say, people, and Rijan, his wife, they're here. They've lived in this village since early 2000s, and they're part of the community. If there is digging of a tomb when someone has died, David is there. If there is a funeral, Rijan is dressed up like a Makoti that she is, and she's there. So I'm talking about people who add value. They have an organization that employs about more than 120 people. They set up an eco lodge that employs so many families in this village, So I'm talking about people who add value and who create a very, very important income in the village. But it's people who have integrated themselves into this space. They didn't come here bringing their Lungu vibes and trying to change it and have people do things differently. But it's people who came, they sat down, they learned about the culture, they learned about the values, and they're just working within that, like blending and interwoven. And it's such a beautiful setup, So I'm talking about this because our traditional council is concerned about people who come, outsiders who come, who try to get land here. I don't know how many inboxes I've gotten. I don't know how many WhatsApp messages I've gotten. People saying that, asking for land. And when I tell them we don't have land, they say I'm depriving them. And with my post that I did condemning tourists who are trying to buy land, some people have felt like I'm putting them on a corner and I'm speaking against them. But it's the people who own cottages, holiday homes. What value does that add to the village? The comments I've gotten, people were saying that it adds value on tourism and this and that. But a holiday home, you only come stay for maybe a few weeks during summer holidays, and that's it. You employ someone, a gardener, you employ a cleaner, and you're saying you add value to the village. How? But can we think about a long-term sustainable value that we can add to these villages, to these wild coast villages? And of course, not buy land, not try to get land, not try to buy land illegally, because we know it's illegal. So what I'm advocating for is that we're not selling land, and we should raise that awareness in each village all around the wild coast. And that we want sustainable interventions in our villages. We understand that our villages are beautiful. Oh yeah, you want to own a piece. But can you add a long-term value? Can we raise a system that benefits the people? Because people in these touristic villages are not beneficiaries per se. They're beneficiaries in terms of being gardeners and kitchen mamas, But decision making and making of money, and they're not sharing their wealth, They're just benefiting from the crumbs that are falling off the tables of the rich. And that's what I speak against. That's what I'm saying no to that. If you're going to go on and still try to hustle, go behind the backs of people to buy land, you know that it's wrong. It's not supposed to happen. For example, our chief is young and vibrant, Nosintu Gwabindlala, in this area. She is drilling it into people in the meetings that people, please stop selling land. And some people will say, but the chiefs are not responsible. They're doing this and that. In our village, I should say that the chiefs are responsible. There are people who are very pro-people, caring about people. I know in other villages along the Wide Coast, the chiefs and the Amakos, the traditional leaders, they are the people going behind the backs of people selling land. That is not right. It shouldn't happen. We say a big no to that too. But we do care about people, and we do say people should not sell land. And we say that young people in these villages, you should be concerned. You should be raising awareness. One day you're going to come back from town, from the city that you live at, and you'll want to have your home, you live at home. But where will it be if you're watching our uncles, our aunts, our grandmothers, who are not very much aware and educated about these things? So it is our responsibility as young people. It is our responsibility as black and white people, anyone, to speak against this, to see the bigger picture, to protect our land, to conserve our culture, because the most important thing that we are holding on to in this village is the sense of community and the conservation of culture, the beautiful, deep African village home culture. And that's what we are holding on to. And to sell our land will be to sell that sense of community. And that's what we're putting a stop into. So we're not trying to insult anyone. I was not insulting anyone, but I was just raising this issue and say it should stop. The people who already own those cottages, that land along the coast, what difference are you making in those communities? What value are you adding? Are you just taking with you, or are you adding value? I'm talking about a long-term value, not just coming in December, staying a few weeks, paying a mama who works, but a long-term value, educating, doing something. What can you do? What skill do you have from the city? So bring us that. Let's talk about that. Thank you.